Welcome to the Quip Corner. Actually, to the book corner. Right after this, you'll see the bio of the author who will be joining me in the book corner. See you in the Quip Corner too. Bye now. Welcome to the Quip Corner's book corner, Ava.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad you accepted the invite. So I can imagine some people like Ava, Ada. Wow, similar names but different people.
Very similar.
So who's Ava?
I'm Ava. I am Ava. I'm Ava Blalark, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, a school social worker, and now also published author, which I'm super excited about. I have been a school social worker, I believe this is my 16th year. Yeah, so it's been a while now. I've worked with kids of all ages from pre-K all the way up through college age. And in my private practice, I also work with adults and older adults as well, dealing mostly with like depression and anxiety and self-esteem and things like that. So that is what I do.
Nice. Sounds exciting, but also draining somewhat.
I was gonna say exciting, never a dull day,
Uh-huh.
both at school and in private practice.
Yeah.
Um, it's always interesting, and I think, like you said, it can sometimes be draining, just because social workers we care about people. So when we're hearing stories, it can be kind of emotionally taxing, which
Yeah.
is why it's important to have those boundaries and self-care, which is something I've learned over the past 15, 16 years. I wasn't so good at it at first though.
Well, yeah. I guess we learn and grow as we go.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so we're here to talk about your book.
Yes, 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 yes.
So what's the backstory to that book?
The backstory to this book. So this is something that I've been talking about writing for probably like 15 years. I honestly always knew that I wanted to write a book um, to help young ladies, young women. Such because this is the population that I mostly work with, and I knew that I had a story that I wanted to tell. Just so the book is based on, it's an account of some of the events in my childhood. So some of the things I dealt with, like self-esteem, issues with mental health, um, friendships, relationships, and just kind of looking to my mother for guidance and her not really being able to give it to me because she was kind of going through her own tough time. Being, a mom of three kids. I mean, her and my dad were married, but then they divorced. So being a single mom of three kids and dealing with homelessness and drug addiction and things like that. So just kind of my story, as I've been a school social worker for 15 years, and there's a lot of young girls that share a similar story.
Yeah.
So I knew that this is something that I wanted to write, to help. That's why I wrote the book, essentially, to help.
Well, thank you. I mean, kudos to you for the courage to actually share your story because it takes courage to say, come in, let me tell you a bit more than the pretty, all put together lady you see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was one of my hesitations, right? Because I am actually a very secretive, not secretive, but
You're
secretive is
just closed. Yeah.
I'm a little bit
Private.
closed, yeah, very private. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why it took so long too, because I was like, do I really want to? Because it's not, when you read the book, it's not something that people know about me. Even
Mhm.
some people who are fairly close to me were like, wow, I
Yeah,
never would have known. And you wouldn't, because don't tell everybody.
I
Um,
know.
right. So I wanted to share, and I think a part of it too, like kudos to my mom as well, um, because before I start to write, I said I really want to write this, but this is your story, and my mom is super supportive, and she was just like, well, this is your story too, so you can tell it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. So it's a book about the things you went through
Right.
and how you overcame.
Yeah.
A couple people would be like, yeah, okay, so it's not a fairy tale.
It's not a fairy tale. Because you know
Nice.
what? And it's how I'm still overcoming. I tell people all the time, like I have not arrived.
Mhm.
I'm still a work in progress.
Nice. Nice. I like the fact that you added that
Mhm.
because I find that sometimes when people write their story, it's almost like beginning and end. No, it's to be continued.
Yes, absolutely. It is to be continued. As long as I'm here, I will be learning and growing.
Yeah. Ooh. So can you read something from your book to us, please?
Absolutely. I'm actually going to read one of my favorite paragraphs, and it's kind of along those lines of what I just said. Um, so I say, keep this in mind. Everything you are experiencing right now shapes the woman you will become. And if you happen to be reading this and you are well past your teenage years, everything that you have experienced has had a hand in shaping the woman you are. Every experience will change how you view the world around you and how you will respond the next time something similar comes your way. Embrace that you will never stop growing as a woman, never stop changing, never stop learning something new about yourself. Live in and embrace the moment. Think about how your experience may affect you, and most importantly, how you can find the value in it to make it work for you and to help someone else. You can turn your experience into your evolution. You can turn your pain into purpose. Out of the silence, find your voice.
Oh, that is nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And it was funny, I smiled when you read the part of, your experience being part of your evolution. When I remembered your book cover that has butterflies,
Yes. Yeah.
and how they evolve. Yeah. Oh,
You just given me like another thing. Like I never thought about that. But yeah, the metamorphosis that butterflies go through. I like that.
how can people get copies of your book?
You can get a copy of Valued. I'm like at this there it
Yes.
is. You now on my website. Especially if you want like an autographed copy, you can get it at my website,
Okay.
which is www.avalblalark.com, and maybe we'll have that somewhere so
It will
that
be at the bottom. It will be at the bottom video.
for easier for all of our Amazon users, you can also find it at amazon.com. The Kindle version is available, and you can also get a hard copy on Amazon as well. And you just type in Valued, things I wish, I'm like this way, things I wish my mom would have told me, and it will pop up. It was a #1 new release on Amazon Kindle, so I was super excited about that. So you can find it there as well.
Nice, nice. Ooh. There was so much packed in one paragraph.
And that literally is just like in the first chapter, and then I like get into some of the specific experiences.
And I was gonna ask, and I still will ask, what message do you have for potential readers of your book? Because people listening to that is like, that was a message right there.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not all you have to share. So what message do you have for potential readers of your book?
I think the main message that I want people to walk away from is knowing your value no matter what you've gone through. A lot of times, like things that we, especially as women, I feel like things that we go through, we don't feel like we're as good as the next person. We're not as pretty, we're not as smart, or we don't deserve something because something happened. And so that was really the main takeaway, that no matter what you've gone through, like you're valuable, you're valued. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It's inherent, it's in you. So that's really like the main message, to know your value, and then to find your voice.
Sure. Yeah. And it's so nicely put. It's so nicely put, because it's one thing to know your value, but if you don't use your voice,
Right.
you could end up being devalued.
Exactly. Right. Like you hit it, like hit the nail right on the head, right? Like once you kind of, okay, like I know like who I am, you know, you've got to use your voice. Like you don't like hold back or, you know, dim your light for other people. And it doesn't mean like you're out here yelling from the rooftops or anything like that, but when you need to speak and to be heard, know that your voice is important, your voice is valuable, and that you add to the places, you know, where you are.
Agreed.
That was super important for me in the book, because I talk about just some of the things I had been through, how I just became like very quiet because I felt like it wouldn't change anything. Like me,
Anything.
me saying something, it doesn't change anything. So let me just like be quiet. I'll fly under the radar. I'll be like the good girl. That was kind of, and so I didn't have that voice. And my mom is also she's very quiet as well. So I kind of, you know, it's about finding balance. I admire her quiet strength. But then there's also a time to use your voice and to speak, you
Sure.
know. And it's for you. It's not to change anything. That's what I
Right.
had to learn.
Agreed. Well, thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner. And in the presence of many witnesses, Ava, I'd like to have you in the Quip Corner again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd come back.
Thank you.
This is just the first part of a planned 3-part series. This is
Nice.
the things I wish my mom would have told me, and then the next book is things I wish my dad would have told me, and that's more um, focused on my heavenly father, my earthly father as well, but then my heavenly father, and you know, I'm like how I really made it over.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's do this again
Thank
sometime.
you so much. Yes.
Thank you. I enjoyed chatting with Ava. I really like the cover of her book, but the contents are even more beautiful. Information on how you can get a copy for yourself and for others will be below this video. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or comments. You'll see her website below as well. And feel free to comment on this video and share it with others. Thanks again for your continued support. And see you in the Quip Corner again. Bye now.